Many people in Western Canada are becoming increasingly frustrated with and angry at the federal government. The political elite in Ottawa are viewed as out of touch with core Canadian values. Financially speaking, Westerners are getting the short end of the stick, as tens of billions of dollars have been redistributed to eastern provinces via equalization payments. To disenfranchise Westerners, the prospect of secession from Canada has become a serious possibility. Leaving Confederation means repudiating $2 trillion in federal debt, as well as freeing Westerners from the burden of paying federal taxes. When Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence, he listed a series of grievances against the British Crown. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. Here, then, is a litany of abuses endured by Westerners at the hands of politicians in Ottawa.
I'm a liberal and a proud socialist, Mr. Speaker.
A culture of welfarism, where entrepreneurship and hard work is villainized.
Governments are going to have to carry that debt. The servicing costs on that are going to be very high.
Sorry?
The servicing costs on the debt that you're going to have to carry, that you're adding to now, right?
Interest rates are at historic lows, Glenn.
Unprecedented levels of wasteful government spending and high taxes.
Morning with a concerning new look at how many Canadians are struggling with the rising cost of living. 1 in 4 people living in poverty in this country.
The relentless debasement of our currency at the hands of the Bank of Canada, which has led to an affordability crisis, with ordinary Canadians struggling to pay rent and buy groceries. A Byzantine regulatory regime, which stifles economic growth.
One of the things that Canadians understand is that immigration remains an incredible strength and force for Canada and for the Canadian economy.
A deliberate attack on the Canadian national identity through unprecedented levels of immigration.
Liberals eliminated tax credits for the oil and gas exploration and development right now. It would actually bring in almost $10 billion over the next 4 years.
The hostility of ivory tower intellectuals and left-wing politicians towards the oil and gas industry. Canada, as a nation, was founded on Judeo-Christian values: the right to own property, the rule of law, and individual liberty. Our country has been a symbol of freedom and a beacon of hope for people around the world. And because we are a nation founded on freedom and the rights of the individual, we have prospered. Unfortunately, we are presently a nation in decline. Our core values have been abandoned and corrupted. The public has been seduced by the ideologies of socialism and collectivism, and our cultural heritage is treated with contempt and disdain. We are a country in crisis.
This idea that government is beholden to the people, that it has no other source of power except the sovereign people, is still the newest and the most unique idea in all the long history of man's relation to man. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves.
The evidence that we are a society in decline is all around us. Drug addicts roam the streets. Youth unemployment is at record highs. Our economy is stagnant, and the political elite are jet-setting, while ordinary Canadians struggle to survive. Despite the urgent need for change, Canada's political system dictates that the status quo must prevail. With over 60% of the total population residing in Quebec or Ontario, the concerns of Westerners will always be ignored. Elections are won and lost in Toronto and Montreal, where cultural Marxism is the dominant ideology. The only way for the West to reclaim the freedom on which our country was founded is through secession. An independent West would be free to pursue our own destiny, unshackled by transfer payments, freed from high taxes, and liberated from the radical agenda of Eastern Champagne socialists.